We got chest and triceps today. We're going to do both of these in the same workout. We got the kids' basketball tonight, so we're not going to be able to come back later in the day and do triceps like we did last week. So a little bit more volume than normal in a workout. We did have a little bit of a shoulder tweak about 2 weeks ago. I don't feel it at all, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to continue to understand that it's probably still there to a degree. So today we're going to start with some flies. We're going to do a pre-exhaust style workout today. So this is where we're going to do an isolation exercise followed by a more of a compound pressing movement. Okay. When we're doing the any kind of fly motion, it has to be the same thing as a press. We're going to have an arch in our back. We're going to keep the shoulders back, chest up, and then we're going to come in here. Now, you're seeing nowadays, I'm seeing it, where a lot of the training styles are getting super, super technical. I'm not here to tell you that those training styles are not effective to a degree, but I do feel that getting too scientific about the way that you perform all these exercises, I think has gotten too much. You see guys now like having their hands in here. They're not even holding it anymore. They're like having the pad rest here. They're doing a straight arm. Bro, listen, I'm sorry, but there might be one or two guys in the IFBB that have massive chests. Samson, Holland's Head, those guys train like the old school guys when it comes to this kind of stuff. This new age of people trying to optimize their training, they're not the best of the best. Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, Arnold, all these guys looked very similar with their training, and it's not until nowadays that you're seeing these guys. So when you see these videos, and I know there's a guy right now, a big NPC guy, very big, he's a super heavyweight guy, doing videos about him being made fun of against some of the older guys. And just get another warm up. Now the first set with that same weight, the body was pretty much getting stretched out. Now, just getting some blood in that area. I forget his name, but this dude's literally going through the videos and explaining what he's doing. And it's like, dude, at the end of the day, man, and this is no disrespect, you're a high-level national bodybuilder. And you're trying to defend your style of training against some of the greats of all time. We're talking guys that were on the Olympia stage. We're talking about, one of his videos, he's in a seated incline, leaning on it, curling up like this, and trying to explain that he is optimizing his training more than Kevin Lerone. Dude, Kevin Lerone went to the Nationals like one time, maybe twice, with huge talent, and fucking became a pro. Then he became winning pro shows. This guy's every year is going to the national level shows and not winning. So, like, is it just genetics? I mean, are we always going to just say that these guys have superior genetics? Or are you just going to realize that this guy is an influencer, just same way as what I'm doing right now, but he's trying to come up with silly exercises to make it seem like he has something new and revolutionary. There's nothing new and revolutionary. There's a fucking pec deck. Get into motion, execute it in a proper way, and be done with it, okay? With the pre-exhaustion sets, today what we're going to do is we're going to do these exercises, and I would say about 80%. The idea is to just go through the range of motion, get blood in that area, not to the point where we're going to overtax it, And then we're going to put the emphasis into some of the presses. So we're going to kind of finish it off with the presses. We're going to do 3 rounds of this. So we're going to do 3 different pre-exhaust into a more of a compound press. So you can also, because we're only using about 80% of our energy, we're going to be able to move through the sets quickly. So it's our second set right now. All right, that's set. That's done. So 2 sets of 15. We're going to move on to the press now. So Panada has 3 different style fly machines. They have a decline, a flat, and an incline, all plate loaded. We are going to be using the decline version right now. I'm going to kind of go right into it. This is one of those machines that honestly, like, once you go over a certain amount of weight, yeah, it's a struggle, but I end up feeling that you're just using everything else to kind of keep yourself in place. You just gotta, there's a weight that's in the middle that taxes the lower pectoral, but yeah, I could probably bang out a few more than 15, but the 3 sets of 15 I'm gonna be good at. Really try to keep that emphasis into the lower pec, because if I jump up the weight, it just becomes a shit show. Another thing with this exercise is that your head has to be back on the platform the entire time. So there's nothing to see. You look in the air, you can close your eyes, kind of do whatever, which is a little bit different than a lot of the bodybuilding things. Even when I was doing the pec deck and there was no mirror, I'm looking into the camera and I can see myself, doing the exercise. So this is one of those exercises where, excuse me, if I can burp. You just kind of like lock in. You can close your eyes, you can keep your eyes open, whatever you want. But it does actually get harder when you get to the bottom of the contraction. And I think that's probably one of the main reasons why, if you start adding too much weight, yeah, you're able to kind of get the thing here, but that last push, it locks you out of working your chest, and you end up using some shoulders. So for me, it's just not important to use more weight than it is to just get that best contraction through the entire range of motion. As you guys can see at the bottom, I'm trying to hold that contraction for at least a full second. I don't get it every single time. It's not perfect, but I try to keep that contraction there. Working to a Panada flat press. Probably do about 1 warm-up set before we go into our work. I got my boy in there. Good. No, it's you, dude. Go, 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 go. Have him work in. You guys done?
Got one more left.
All right, bro. Thank you, man. Let's go. Now we'll work in. Let the boys work in for a second. All right, it's time to go to work. 12 to 15. Let's go. Bring it home. Let's go. Let's get that done. All right. So definitely a different style of workout, different feel. But this is one of the things why I think it's super critical, guys and gals, but mainly to us fucking guys here, because most of the guys don't do cardio. So there's tons of opportunity for muscle gain and muscle growth off of doing shorter rest periods, intensity techniques, higher rep range. But when you limit the cardiovascular training that you're doing, you're not going to be able to maximize this shit. I don't give a shit, dude. If you guys come in every day and you're fucking just doing reps of 5 to 8, you're going to get stronger. Don't get me wrong. But you're not going to have the type of pop to the muscles. Okay? You're not going to have the same kind of, you get the density. But the roundness that you get from the combination, I'm not saying one is better than the other. It's a combination of utilizing intensity techniques, drop sets, supersets, high reps, shorter rest periods. Guys, all that stuff improves the overall physique. And I think the big misconception that a lot of us meathead bodybuilders think, and I was one of them when I was younger, is that you got to fucking kill yourself with cardio. I mean, fuck, I never went for runs, but step mill, bike, elliptical, even a treadmill, going at a high incline, fast speed and stuff like that for a walk. Guys, the majority, when I say majority, 85 to 90% of my cardio is done walking outside. The other, if it was 85%, 13%, so you guys can do your fucking math, 13% is probably on a treadmill in the back room on a 5 incline, 3 speed. And then there's 2% of the time where when I'm on the treadmill, I might push it a little bit harder, 10 incline, trying to get it done faster than 45 minutes. Excuse me. Or I might go on a step mill, rarely when I'm on the road. Majority of it's done is low impact, low intensity, 45-minute bouts of cardio. All right, we're going to go here, last one. All right, we're back. Mic's on, let's get it. What kind of fucking weight you using, bro? What's this bullshit weight you using? All right, he doesn't fucking hear me, bro. Let me just warm up with this, baby. Taking breaks now. It's Monday. I'll move this camera over here so you guys can see me when I talk. But obviously, it's Monday in the gym. This is not a busy gym, which is great. A lot of, obviously, seeing all the Panada equipment that we have. This is my home-based gym, Empire, down here in Miami. Obviously, Mondays gets a little bit busy in the morning. So we do the best that we can to, work in when we have to. But for the majority of the exercises, there's plenty of stuff to work around other people. But obviously, a cable crossover is something that I wanted to stick with because it is a good pre-exhaust exercise. I didn't like to want to, when you have the Panada machines over there that we used earlier, it puts you in a fixed position, just like the pec deck. So obviously the cable gives you a little bit leniency. You are working through that range of motion, but not the same as you would a fly and or dumbbells. But definitely something where you have to use some stabilizer muscles. But we're going to work into our first set after this. We got our boy over here, Miguel, going into his exercise. Get him on camera. This guy over here. You're on camera. So one, probably let Miguel come in here, do his set, and then we'll just go back and forth. So obviously when other people are working out, you're going to have to kind of alter your rest periods just to make sure that you're being courteous of everybody else that's there and you're not being a dick. Okay, set 2. One more. Then we're running to last set. So last combo of the let's see where we're at. Okay, so last combo, I gotta kind of I need to know where I am on this seat position. That's why I lean my head back. It is like a divot in the headrest. So this is a decline Hanada press. So we're gonna get in here. We're already loaded up. Should be warmed up. 12 to 15 reps. Lock our shoulders back, and we're just pressing this. So it's definitely great alternating between the fly motion, which you're using a lot less weight. You're getting like a superior contraction, and then moving into the, look at this asshole over here, fucking guy. You get a severe contraction when you do like the fly motion, and then the presses, where you need to make sure that you're getting a nice stretch and obviously pressing through the weight. Cool thing about the Panada machines is that it actually pushes the arm away and stretches more. And when you come in, it actually, the arms come together, so you get a better contraction. So kind of a combination. All right, we're moving right into it. Again, this is where we're moving quickly. Fuck. Oh, seconds, that killed me, bro. I got 15 easy on the first one, but fucking killed me on the second one. We're gonna struggle. We're gonna struggle when it comes to the last one, but you gotta understand it. But you don't let it play tricks in your head. You're still gonna give everything you got. So make sure you got it. So, fuck. All right, one more. Let's go. Done. All right, so finish with the 3 sets back and forth. We got front delt fucking, yeah. Let's go. Front delt looking greasy. We'll finish with the 3 sets of, I don't know what the fuck that was, a decline press. I don't know what I'm trying to say. So 3 different exercises in the form of a pre-exhaust and then moving into a press. And now we're gonna move into the last exercise before we go into triceps, which is the dip. Kind of hits triceps, that's why we're going into it. So it's gonna like kind of warm up the triceps. All right, so over here at the dip station, I'm gonna do about 3 sets of this. I've done a lot of reps today. So ideally 12 to 15 is good. We can do more, we'll do more. Fucking done. It just is fucking smoked. So that's a feeling where I'm pushing and there's fucking nothing left. That's the best part about that, the pre-exhaustion higher rep style. You get to a point where you just don't have any more like energy in the muscles to push anymore. So we're gonna see what we got on the second set. I'm gonna have to probably take at least another 30 seconds because that shit was miserable. I could fucking got nothing in the tank, baby. All right, let's go. That's it. When you don't got anything, I got nothing, bro. That's fucking failure. Just have no strength in the chest anymore. I feel confident that I'm going to be able to do that, but we got a great pump going, so we're going to give you guys a little preview of the pump that we have. Moving on to triceps. That was a pretty warm, but we're still having to warm up. So we did a 10, a 20, and now we're doing 30. Do some skull crushers. We'll set to 15 to 20 on these. Oh. So we struggle to get 20, but I'm going to stick with that. We're going to see how we do in the next set. With this exercise, it's very, very elbow. It puts the elbow in a tough position. Excuse me. And I like to really stretch it out. So I find once I get over a certain weight that it ends up strongly being a lot of forearm, and then the elbow is the one that gets the brunt of the damage. So if I can do 2 sets of 20, which I just did 1 set of 20, if I can do a second set of 20, then I'll move up. I'll increase the weight. If I can't, then I'll just stick with the same weight and I'll do the last set and try to get 20 again. Again, we're not doing the hot, long rest periods. We're just going quick in between sets. So going right into it. Oh, stuff. Oh, fuck me. Oh, good. I don't even know. I was doing sets of 5. This is what happens. So I know I told you guys to chunk sometimes your higher rep stuff into divisibles. So like if you're doing sets of 20, you do sets of 5, 4 sets of 5. Problem is I didn't know what set of 5 I was on. So I don't know. You guys can count along on the last set. I don't know if I did closer to 25, if I did closer to 20. But in my head, I did closer to 25. I think always I overcount or undercount or whatever the fuck that word is. That one was good. We're going to do one more set. I don't know what I did, so I'm going to have to stick with that. If I can get 25, I'll get 25. So if we did do 25 last set, I'll get 25. I'm going to do sets of 10 so I don't fuck this shit up. Let's go. So even though we couldn't do the free weight dips, we're going to do the seated dips. So obviously we can figure out the weight that we can manage. And I'm going to keep the emphasis on the triceps as opposed to leaning forward too much to garner more chest engagement. So big difference between when you do 2 muscle groups in the same day, especially the ones that like a chest and triceps. The benefit is that a lot of the chest exercises are utilized within they utilize your triceps as well, okay? But on the flip side, a lot of the connective ligaments, a lot of the muscle groups that work simultaneously are now fatigued once you move into the second muscle group. For example, when I was doing the skull crushers, I'm in basically a bench press position. So my chest, even though it is not being utilized for the skull crusher, I'm using my chest, I'm using my shoulders to stabilize. On this exercise, same thing. I'm focusing on pressing with the tricep, but my chest, my front delts are already fatigued from all the past work that I've done. So it's a give and take. I'm not able to use as much weight, but I am able to kind of continue to stimulate the muscle and tax it. So That's one of the reasons why I believe, as well as many others, that if you're not genetically blessed with great arms, um, only doing arms after a bigger muscle group is not going to be hugely beneficial, and is not going to get you the results that you're looking for. Now, it doesn't mean you can't do that, but I also feel that you need to have a dedicated day for your arms. Okay, so it's great to do chest and triceps, back and biceps, and what have you, or push pull, however you want to do it. But I do think that if you are trying to bring up your arms and they are a lagging muscle group, you're not as genetically gifted, I think it is very beneficial to have its own arm day. That's it. All right, we're gonna move on to the next exercise. Very close. Let's go. So, next exercise, right next door. This baby right here. So we've done a couple presses. We're gonna move to an extension, but an overhead extension. Probably put 120, go right into it. This should be a good weight. Might have to go up a little bit depending on how it feels, but should be a good weight. So we got, how was a set of 12? Anything over your head, guys. Behind your head, behind your neck, behind there. You gotta be very careful. Be very, very careful. When you put your arm in that position, the weight is pulling your arm in a very, very compromising position. Now, obviously, this is a machine that only can go so far back, but you're using stabilizer muscles to keep it in that fixed position. Those stabilizer muscles can tear if you're not using proper form, using swing, using momentum. So I like to do this as opposed to when I was a kid, I did the dumbbell. And we would have to use, I'm using 120 pounds right here. You'd have to pick up a 120 pound dumbbell, throw it on your shoulder, put it up over your head. And again, that's a free range of motion. It can do whatever the fuck it wants. So, and then again, when you're done with it, you got to either let go of it behind you, which is ridiculous because you don't know who's behind you, and then or throw it over your shoulder. Again, there's so much can happen there. So, in my opinion, I always like to do either a standing overhead cable extension or one of these fixed machines. We're going to go into the next one. I'm a big motivational speaker type of guy. I listen to a lot of the guys out there, like Ed Milet, one when I say one more. You guys are familiar with him. His is one more rep, one more set, one more. Every day you got to do one more of whatever it is, and you just stack that. So when we have these ideas of a fixed rep range that we have, and you kind of embody the whole one more, it pushes you. It pushes you to be better each and every time. So I did 12 in the first one. I'm going to get one more. 13. I'm going to get 13. I'm going to get one more this one. 14. And those things stack up, guys. Those are the little things that stack up over time. Okay, those one more rep, add up one more set, add one more, like he says in business, one more phone call, one more contact, one more this, one more that. You stack that over time, and that's where it's win. That's where you win. It's 14. It's one more, baby. All right. 3 sets, 3 different exercises. We're going to move on to our last exercise, which is going to be a crossbody, single arm, push down, fucking beefy shoulders, biceps, veins everywhere. See you in a second. The last exercise, you know what we're going to do is we're just going to do a straight arm down. I haven't done one of these in a really long time. It's an underhand. I find a lightweight. It's a little higher. I was going to do a crossbody. I've been doing crossbodies for a while, but I haven't done an underhand in a while. Now I got to use like no weight because I haven't done it in a while. Actually, I got to go a little bit more than this. Okay. Not as weak as I thought I was. Feels good. Got a nice little pump on this one. Nice contraction. Not heavily exerting on the overall body, so we're going to be able to move pretty quickly between the sets. Taking just enough rest period, like 30 seconds between sides once we're done. Feels good today. It's a Monday. As I said, gym's busy. Start of another work week. I try my best not to check my phone when I'm in the gym, but I do see a lot of messages coming through. So either all hell's gonna break loose or something great's happen. What do you guys think? 50-50. I always say either one or the other. One extreme, never something in the middle. All right, last one. So that's all she wrote today. Great chest exercises. Obviously, we did the pre-exhaust format. You guys saw me shit the bed on those dips because it was fatigued. Did a little posing so you guys can see where we're at. That's a good thing about being on camera, guys. One thing, for me is it's just instead of stepping on the stage as my barometer is like I have to stay in shape for the content each and every day. I'm going to take my shirt off so you guys can see. As we go through this, you guys are going to start. I'm going to, do some vlogs where it's me going through like what I eat in a day, which is the most ridiculous, simple thing in the world. We are going to do some supplement stuff today, so wait out for that. We'll be going through all the supplements at Alpha Supps, how you take them, when to take them, who should take them, what your goals are, what you should experience from taking them. So let's go. If you guys have any questions, always comment below. Let me know. Send a DM to my Instagram or what have you. We'll go from there.